So we're here, they've just done welcome to country. Found a park so I can come back and get a snack out of the car. Oh, they're only playing music anyway. Didn't look like anything was going on at the Aboriginal tent in the city. Went down past there. Do I have everything? I think I do. I should get some cash on that as well. Yeah, it's actually very busy. There's a few local events going on. So a lot of people won't even realise these guys are doing this unless they try to use Commonwealth Avenue at the same time these guys are marching.
Are you rock solid behind this movement? Are we going all the way? Get rid of these mobs? No more Masonics, right? We call that for what they are.
No more Masonics. They do have the Freemasons in their movement.
Queensland. It's going to start with a bit of ditch for you. Okay, buddy.
So what are they doing? Burning the dirt? Or the dirt just melts like lava?
Looks like we've got a little bit more today.
Hi, Kerry. Hi, I'm Julia.
Sorry, just looking as I walk up.
I thought you were filming me.
Interesting.
She went back
That one later. Hey guys. EMF and cellular protection. Oh, okay. Now I get it.
well. Kathy's going to be there on Tuesday night as well. Yep. And lots of
Photos,
Christmas
like,
was. But
sorry.
it seemed that...
Alright, let's get out of the road. What have we got? If you want to get in touch with them, yeah. Oh, I wish I had the chat on. Anyone heard of this guy? Interesting. The shelters. Oh, one of the many merch sales. Oh, come on. Why is that blurry? Oh, it's not that blurry. It's me in my eyes, I think. I am recording on the other one, of course. Although they aren't lined up very well at the moment. The man mustn't have arrived yet. They don't have the big crowd there.
Time, one dreaming all began. A crowd of people came. They were looking for their promised land, standing in the heart of darkness. Oh yeah, so into the light.
There's quite a few people here today. That's kind of cool.
Oh, they were
Makes it a
standing
more exciting day.
solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time and the ways of change. Follow down the line, solid rock, living on sacred ground, living on borrowed time and the ways of
Always
change.
lots of doggos at this one.
Down the night.
More t-shirts.
Oh.
Yeah, it is also the crap that I was talking about before. I was thinking most weeks. Oh look, this must be where the tin foil ones are setting up. Getting their costumes together. Oh, big smiley face. It's one of the freedom ones. Oh, this is interesting. I guess a chemtrail thing. Lovely. The mainstream media is the propaganda. Yeah, so there's quite a few more people than there have been the last few weeks this week. I wonder how many of them are Bosi supporters. No more bits down there. Oh, we've actually got some toilets today. So, it looks like, I don't know, unless I'm missing, that's war symbology, not chemtrail symbology and EMF symbology. More of them over there.
White man, white man, come and justify where someone lied. Yes, someone lied. Yes, someone lied. Inside. Someone.
Is that the same one that was here? Is this the one that was here last week?
Standing on solid rock.
Last week?
Standing on.
Is this the one that was here last week? No, just had an update? Oh, okay.
I was here a couple of weeks ago, but just got more on it now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's your man as well. How long did it take you to
Like that. Let's make sure we're... I might have to step back a bit. Gosh. I guess they're paint pens.
Right on, guys. All right. So while they're just getting their breath, guys, we're here about, or I'm here about, something that really pees me off, and I reckon a lot of you people are, and there's only one guy that I know who's actually putting the acid on people to actually open this up. So
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to read a few names. How many names do you reckon there might be? 28. I reckon there's more than 28 now.
Oh, yeah.
Hey? I reckon we could probably take this list out a little bit
Okay,
now. But
disclaimer,
anyway,
I do not
so these
endorse
beautiful
any of
people
these
that have
comments
been
because I think
playing
it's about
with
to
our
get a bit
children and
wild
also
and
think
we've
they
only
can run
just
our
started.
country or have something to do with how we run our friggin' country. Scott Morrison. Paul Keating. Kim Beasley, Senior. Bob Orr. Kim Beasley Jr. runs in the family there. Alan Jones. John Singleton. John Laws, Jerry Packer, Gordon Mays, George Pell, Rupert Murdoch, Ray Hadley, Bob Carr, New South Wales Police Commissioner John Avery, Dr. Neville Davies, Richie Bonneau. Funny how Richie went sort of, yeah. Frank Kennett, Bruce Spence, Rosalind Croucher, John Griffiner, Paul Wilson, Dr. Lexus, somebody, Tony Bacon. I don't know all these people up by heart because they disgust me and I don't really want to know their names, folks. But I think that's the big fight that we're up against here, guys. That's what's been happening.
There's more.
There's more, yeah, there's heaps more now, and we'll have to update it, Arnie, for sure. But, yeah, I'm just going to start reading them names and reminding you people of what we're doing here, okay, and what these cretins have been doing. Because, you know, that's why we just got to hang in, folks, get this done, all right? Them 28 plus names and a lot of other stuff, but no one's attacking them, guys. Every politician except Rick that you want to talk to wants to avoid the question. And they're all complicit.
Damn it. All right,
Bar us bunch here, Rick and a few other people, but that's it. So,
We need to go on the other side.
we got to get it done, guys, all right? In our local communities, we got to get it done. When we go home during the week, all right, we got to be like doing stuff in our local places. My mate Steve's car over there with the Nuremberg and that written all over it.
That's better like.
Yeah, this is the sort of stuff we need, guys, going back to our towns. Mainstream media's helping us now.
Bit better.
Okay, they're starting to drop stuff out, so now we need to help them change the collective. Okay? Let's do it, guys.
Thanks, Dave. What a champion. The concreter from Wollongong. Rock hard. Okay. Like to welcome the truckie that owns this truck. Please welcome Bruce from Sydney to the stage. I'd say a few things. Thank you.
How are you guys? Everyone well today? This turnout's getting better each week. It's really good. So I just wanted to give you a quick update where I'm at with this, trying to get the Constitution back and get these guys in the courts to listen out. Now I've just had a little bit of a message come to me this morning that people that are actually doing the right thing and just exercising common law are being picked out. Now that's pretty bad. I mean, as long as we don't do any harm or injury or commit a crime to another person or their property, shouldn't we be free to do what we like? That wasn't quite loud enough. Shouldn't we be free to do what we like? Thank you. So, where we're at the moment is I am actually working on helping people with fines and that to get into the courts to actually get the judges to look at our Constitution. And the real part is the Crown and Queen Elizabeth II and her heirs and successors. Now, by a show of hands, can anyone tell me who the Queen of Australia is? I think it's an ABN number, isn't it? So that's the problem. And unfortunately, and it's no fault to any police officer or anyone like that, this has been such a big thing in this country where it's been taken out, and it's really been taken out in 2004. And as a magistrate said to my partner last Wednesday, he can't understand how the Crown and the Queen has anything to do with the traffic offence.
By the way, if there's anyone in
but it's got to do with validity. And that was the same in what happened in Victoria, how those 1,400 or 1,000 coppers were unduly sworn in. And that's the issue, right? So it's a case of, are people in the position of power that they're elected or they have the powers to actually, that we give them, right? Didn't ScoMo last week, wasn't he something he signed off on a document? That guy. But wasn't he His Excellency? Isn't that someone that the Queen has to say? And he put that on a document? What's going on in this country? And then apparently we're the people that are doing domestic terrorism because we're trying to keep them lawful. So for me, and this is only for me, I'm speaking for myself, I'm trying to be lawful. Mightn't be legal, because legal is what happens up in that building up there, or in our government houses in each state. They create a bill, They discuss it and they create a piece of legislation, which is a statute. Now, how many people learnt law at school? That's what I figured, because they took the Constitution out in 1974, the education of it. So, people that are 50, 60 years old, they may have had a little bit of it, but they don't remember it. And that's what the whole thing is, and it's been happening slowly, slowly and slowly. So, the bankruptcy and trustee is the UN. The United Nations can actually come in this country and potentially, I've got to get the language right, take your home. Now, if you don't believe that's true, I know that the New South Wales government, because I'm from Sydney, they can actually do land acquisition to actually build a road. So basically, you don't actually own your land that you think you own, and the banks don't even own it, even when you pay it off, because they've already given the debt to someone else. So this is how corrupt the whole thing is. Now, I drive a truck, I'm a director of a company, and the day that they said that I was liable for people taking a jab, that's when I started standing up and questioning it. That's all I can do. I just don't believe it's right. I don't believe that I have the right to ask any female, have you had your pap smear or your tits tested? Because, or has a guy had his prostate tested? Right? It's not up to me. That's invasion of privacy. Is it? But why are we accepting it? Why are other people accepting it? And that's kind of, are you vaccinated? Are you not vaccinated? I don't, like it's bullshit. Right? It's rape. It's rape. That's in my world. I could be wrong. If someone can tell me different, that's fine. I'm happy to be wrong. And I'd rather be wrong and we get our country back than to be right and it just turns to shit. All right? So, the next thing we really have to think about, and we need to educate every single person, and it's our kids, even the people that aren't talking to us now. If they know that this country is falling apart, we need to do something lawfully right, which is, even if we can't throw them out, we need to vote them out. And we really need to start thinking about voting. Because I never knew how to vote or how it all works with the preferences and stuff like that. And how many people got taught at school how to vote properly? By a show of hands. Just look around. So that's none of us. So do you think this is done by design? I'm starting to see it's all done by design. Who else thinks it's done by design?
It's paid for an American company.
Well, it is. Well, we have to vote them out. Right? So that means we've got to get rid of the major four, which is Liberal, Labor, Nationals and Greens. They can't be in it. Right? And I don't know if the independents are right because we can't really vote for parties. It's in our constitution. But I think we have to live in duality at the moment, and we need to do what we can lawfully. And I think that's the thing. And we have to respect all the other people that don't believe in us. Because if we squash them, we're doing exactly what they're doing to us, and that doesn't work. We need to unite. Right? We need to unite. We have to do this together, and we need the numbers. I'm just trying to talk some sense because I know all of us are trying to get what is the answer? How do we fix it? What's the plan of attack? Well, it's many plans, and it's a continuous attack. It's to just get and deliver the one thing, which is justice, freedom, and just live lives. That's what we need to do. That's exactly right. But it's all mind control. And I've got nothing wrong with brainwashing either. Right? Brainwashing is great because if we can clean our minds and put the right information in, I think that's a good bit of brainwashing, isn't it?
What's your name, love? Would you like to speak at tomorrow's protest about that? Because we do need to have that heard. You come up and speak to me, all right? We're talking about the demonic bullshit that's going on up there.
And I can just say one thing.
Yep.
Masking and 1.5 metre distancing is a requirement in any satanic ritual.
Okay, she just said masking and 1.5 metre distancing is a tradition in satanic rituals. But also surveillance. We know that. If you're 1.5 metres apart, they're going to get your whole body, your facial and everything. But we'll have you up tomorrow, Kay, for the Great Southland Gathering tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, love. Yeah, we're here for the children.
We're here for everyone.
We're sick of our children being sacrificed, aren't we?
We're here for everybody.
Yeah,
and we need to be the leaders. Come on up. Come on up.
Do you want to do it now?
Come on up.
Do you want to hear from her? Yeah, come on up. This is what we're about. All sorts of different ideas. While she's coming, I just want to mention, do you think the voting system's rigged? Yeah. So what's the point of voting and contracting with these Masonic arseholes? That's why I believe in Bosi. Because he wants a transformation.
Is this like a Bosi?
Let's get on board with him. Okay, thanks for letting us speak, love. Take that. Take us on the middle. This lady is from Victoria, Melbourne. Believe me, she's been at the coalface. Haven't you, love? And we're going to get spiritual this weekend. We haven't been spiritual enough. That's why I said the Lord's Prayer at the start. Because we can do everything we want. We can arrest all the judges and all the cops, but they don't put them away. God will put them away. Please get on side. Because without his power, we are nothing. Speak about the spiritual stuff, love.
Just have to say, I'm actually not a public speaker.
Neither am I.
but we're going to wing it, aren't we? I'm not a survivor of satanic ritual abuse, but just because it hasn't happened to me, it doesn't mean it doesn't matter to me. I was educated about this filth 2 years ago when an incredible warrior got up in the UK and shared her story about satanic ritual abuse. She was a victim. Her name was Jeanette Archer. Has anyone heard about Jeanette Archer? Most people would say she was a conspiracy theorist. She had the guts to get up and talk about her abuse in relation to the Queen. What's the Queen got to do with satanic ritual abuse? What has the royal family got to do with satanic ritual abuse? And why am I even talking about this? Because most people are up here to stop the mandates and to stop the vaccine. For me, that's a distraction. We are in spiritual warfare. We're in psychological warfare. How exhausted are we when we stand on our own? How exhausted are we when we stand in our own strength? Satanic ritual abuse just doesn't happen overseas, and neither does child sex trafficking. Child sex trafficking happens right here. I suggest you go and research Gabby Chung. We did our first satanic ritual abuse rally last year on the 26th of June in Melbourne. Nobody wanted to know about it. And in fact, we're called the crazy people. I'm sure every one of you are standing there have been told that you're a black sheep, that you're a bit obscure, that you don't comply, that you're a rule breaker. The only public speaking that I've done is in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I've been clean and sober for 10 years. I'm not an intellectual. I'm not standing above anybody. I'm speaking with my heart. I have seen depravity. I have had suicidal thoughts forever. I have been subject to grooming by the ex-finance minister of Victoria because I thought that I was important standing next to these politicians, but all they wanted was a handbag, and that's what I was. So what we have done, a few of us like-minded people, we have got together because our hearts speak the same language. We want this to stop. And how do we stop it? How do we stop it? We learn who we are. I bet you, I don't know who I am, but I'm learning. If we stand together and push aside all our bullshit differences, these children have got half a chance of being saved. What doesn't get talked about and what is offensive is the word adrenochrome. Does anyone know what adrenochrome is? Because I'm very aware of adrenochrome because I was a drug addict back in my day, and then I was told about adrenochrome. Where does it come from? Are you ready to hear it? It comes from traumatised children. The higher quality of adrenochrome comes from the highest trauma of a child. So children are not children to these satanic bastards. They need the drugs and they need the fix. And I'm sure we've all had our own little secret desires in the past, but it's time to come clean and bring out your own truth so we can stand tall and make a change. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I've got to be the change, and you've got to be the change. No one is better than, and no one is lesser than. Gabby Chung is the first person that said, I am going to stand up and walk with you, Jeanette Archer. Who is Rachel Vaughan? Does anyone know who Rachel Vaughan is? She lived in the tunnels in Adelaide. What are the tunnels? The deep underground military bases. What are they? We've been in the dark for too long. Australia. Australia, what's Australia? The land down under. Why have we been called the land down under? Because of our tunnels. What do they do in the tunnels? Move adrenochrome. Rape and torture and murder the children.
Probably not by me.
Fiona Barnett was the first whistleblower and she got taken out and she's just started to speak again and she's angry. She's really angry. What we're doing at the moment is we've gathered together a few people and we've come together and we've got Fiona Barnett, Nellie Street, Rachel Vaughan, an international group of satanic ritual abuse survivors that have been induced with MK Ultra. And if you do not know what MK Ultra is, do your research. I didn't know. And in fact, when I found out, I went through secondary trauma because it's too hard for my mind to comprehend that every single thing that these politicians have been teaching us is bullshit. And we've been compliant for so long. So my heart is for the children. And my heart is to change humanity. And I can't do it on my own. But together we can. Together we stand and divided we fall. Where is everybody? Are they playing football? Are they going to their cafes? Are they saying I'm too tired to get up here? We're at war here. We all know this. We all know we're at war.
Transfixed.
As I said, it's spiritual. Where does your faith lie? I can't rely on my faith alone. And I can tell you right now, the Vatican is the most satanic hub on the planet. I can tell you right now, Jesus is not religion. He's our friend, and I'm not in the churches. So why I'm here is to educate people on satanic ritual abuse, and you cannot partake in satanic ritual abuse without MK Ultra. And there are millions of children disappearing every year for the addiction of adrenochrome. And it's time for us to push our petty shit aside and come together and say enough is enough. Thank you for listening.
Can I just mention, bro, just quickly,
if you're not on our Telegram, which is the Great Southern Land Gathering, please get in there, please. The Great Southern Land Gathering on Telegram. We're up to 435 in a week. It's going awesome, eh, Dave?
Yeah, it is. It's going unreal. Listen, guys, that's stuff that I haven't even stood up and hit you guys with this, but this is what our mama bears are like, guys. They're now really getting peeved off. You know, and this is like, we got stuff for the women to do here, you know, and my wife knows more about it, but they're making a stand up here, these mama bears. But that is what we need, guys. That is what we need, because we're going to start getting the real friggin' thing out there and what we're all so peeved about. And ain't your friggin' mandates and Q codes, that's just their bullshit to go with it. What we're all happy about is the way they treat us, our children, and society as a whole. So, yeah, I absolutely love that coming out. Now, people, you know, I got slammed the other night. I got to buy, and I'll tell you, I put a guy called Tommy Truthful up on my Stop the Rot, Sack the Lot page. And the idea was for you to have a look at Giamatra. Now, the guy's a little bit far out, okay, but don't take everything that you watch. You take what's good for your soul and what fits you. If the piece doesn't fit, you don't take it. It's simple. So, you know, when you look at Giamatra, the other thing is, guys, these guys work on numbers. It's all numbers when you get into satanic stuff. So if you don't know the topic that lady was just talking on, and you don't know what I'm talking about with Giamatra, all right, get onto my Stop the Rot, Sack the Lot page on Facebook and have a look, because you need to get educated on how they are doing this and how they have duped everybody down. Okay, and this MK Ultra, folks, it is serious stuff. All right, you think it's a conspiracy? Sorry. You know, we've been conspiracy theorists now for 2 years, but all of a sudden we're conspiracy realists and we're running out of conspiracies. So that's about where we are at the moment. But there's a couple of things you guys need to research and need to understand what is going on out there, all right? Seriously, I know you're some smart people, a lot of you do. If you don't know these topics, get in and have a look at them. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Don't forget, Stop the Rot, Sack the Lot. That's Dave on Facebook. Check him out, please. Put some fun stuff up there. Can we please have Jamie up? He's all the way from South Australia. James? Oh, sorry. James. Is that right? Sorry, James is coming up. Just quickly, we'll let him set up. Was anyone there last night at Glebe Park? Wasn't it great? Had a couple hundred there. Thank you so much. This guy just rocked on up, and he rocked it, didn't he? His guitar and his harp. He's got a fantastic a whole lot of original stuff he's been working on over the last couple of years. This was 2020, wasn't it, Jamie, this one? James, sorry. James, all the way from SA. Who's from South Australia here? Awesome. Victoria, represent. As always. New South Wales. Hey, Canberra. Hey, and Queensland. You made it. Thank you so much. Good stuff. Hey? WA. Sorry, I got distracted.
We forgot you existed.
NT. We got a couple? NT. That's half the country at least. USA! This guy! USA! USA! He's all the way from there. This guy's awesome. He's here every day, all week. I can't miss him. Right, please welcome James from Adelaide.
Good afternoon, everyone. Is it afternoon yet? Maybe in New Zealand. Yep. Yep, my name is James Hickey. I was somewhat of a hack touring musician for a number of years until about 2020. And so I wrote this song when high fives were cancelled, handshakes were cancelled, hugging was cancelled, and Easter was cancelled. So this is called Easter is Cancelled. I wrote it in March 2020. So, for this moment.
Just a quick one. Sorry, James. I forgot to mention before you. We've got food up here, guys. If you're hungry, there's quiches, there's burek. which is Greek food, I believe, just over near Matt at the sound desk there. Thank you.
Sorry kids, with that camping trip, we just have to wait. Global crisis has got us down, and we ain't going away. So they shut down all the state parks, closed up all the borders. We can't get essential items because of them goddamn hoarders. Turns out beaches are closed, playgrounds are taboo. If we go out anywhere, they want 5 feet between me and you. My boys tell me high fives, abandon school these days, and I tell them stuff the rules and do it anyway. Yo, 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 yo. Sorry, the mic's off. Just up here. You can take away my job, cancel all the beer, even postpone Easter to later in the year. Call the state of emergency, tell us feel alive today. Pump us full of propaganda, but I'll never be afraid. I'll hug you anyway. I wish Greta would say, how dare you. I'm too loud for this mic. I wish, yo, yo. It's cutting out sound, I think. Wish Greta would say, how dare you, to those who stole our spirit. A flying kangaroo is grounded, down under's grounded with it. It's to the bars and the restaurants had to close the doors. The cafes and the churches and all the lonely whores. Take away my job, cancel all the beer, even postpone Easter to later in the year. Call the state of emergency, tell us feel alive today. Pump us full of propaganda, but I'll never be afraid. Pump us full of propaganda, but I'll never be afraid. And I'll hug you anyway. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us in the fight for freedom. Well, they say we're in a lockdown, 2 weeks or maybe more. Now let us out by Christmas, but we all know the score. Our sons and our daughters once we only combine, divided and alone. Will we make a stand? Divided or alone? Or will we make a stand? United here as one. Come on, let's make a stand. You can take away my job, cancel all the beer, even postpone Easter to later in the
call a state of emergency, tell us be in the light of day. Pump us full of propaganda, but I'll never be afraid. You can take away my job, cancel all the fear, even postpone Easter to later in the year. Call a state of emergency, tell us be the light of day. Pump us full of propaganda, but I'll never be afraid. Pump us full of propaganda, and we'll never be afraid. Now pump us full of propaganda, but we'll never be afraid. And we'll hug you anyway. Cheers. You going to do one more?
One more, yeah. Want to hear one more? Encore? I would. Come a long way.
This is a song I didn't write. And in the midst of all this turmoil and PTSD and all that we've all got, the whole world's got, I guess, just have to remember that it's still a beautiful place. So I thought I'd play this song. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself,
Go for a wander.
what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, a bright blessed day and the dark sacred night.
Go for a wander with
And
the
I
music.
think to myself, what a wonderful world.
That's the young child who did the rap.
Colors of the rainbow, pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by.
Every other civilization, I'm singing those answers. The single reason is, as I said at the beginning, because of the sin of every culture, our spiritual beliefs, and ours is Christian, and the Christians believe that every soul is of infinite value. No other civilization does that. That's why we free slaves. That's why we create wealth. That's why we are kind and generous and provide the world with everything that they need. And we open up our doors, and what do? They bring their shit here. That includes the Italians. The Italians turned up, they brought the mafia. Well done. And I say that because my background's Italian. How about when the Italians are going to help? Sort out your mafia. Get out. Go back to Italy. This is Australia. This is the country I love. This is the country that's given me everything. And I will fight, and I was about to say I will die. I will fucking kill. How's that sound?
We'll be with
To make
you
sure
soon.
this place stays as good as it possibly can, and the rest of the world can go to hell. They can sort out their country, we'll sort out our country. Thank you very much.
We stop being moral. Many people stop being moral. So we need to make people moral under democracy. What do you think about the current?
What is your problem with democracy,
No,
madam?
I'm just
No.
asking
You've
you.
asked two questions now. I want to know whether you're working for CCP or not. No, it's a fair question. How is democracy? Okay, what's
Because
better than madam?
democracy-
No, madam. What is better than democracy? What is better than democracy? Where you go?
Freedom, liberty. As you said,
Are you working for the CCP?
I'm working for this one.
That doesn't mean anything.
I'm just asking the question.
No, I'm asking you a question.
Yeah,
Why are you bitch slapping democracy? What's the
No,
alternative?
I'm just asking for freedom.
I've already answered your question. I
Yeah,
told you
yeah.
democracy is 51% of the people
Okay,
voting themselves.
so do you
The
think-
wealth and the rights are the other 49%.
Okay.
Pure democracy is not smart, but every individual having their rights acknowledged. And then that, if you wish to govern this nation, then you better persuade a lot of people that what you are doing is in their best interest, but they have the right to tell you to go to hell. And you have a right. And if 99% say you should die and you haven't done anything to deserve it, then that 99% means nothing. So no, democracy, pure democracy is insanity. It's the rule of the mob. We've got that now. Do you know we have more tax takers than taxpayers? So when a people realise that 51% can vote themselves the wealth of the other 49%, you haven't got a civilization. You get a fast track to hell. So I don't know what your issue. Maybe I'm dense. Maybe I'm not picking up your question on democracy.
Well, lots of people are questioning about democracy, as you said.
A lot of people where? From China?
Yeah. In the West.
Well, what are they saying?
I don't think many
What are they
Chinese
saying?
understand about democracy.
What are they
In
saying?
the democracy, we have child trafficking, we have child abuse.
Really? The Ukraine, centre of child trafficking. China, centre of child sex trafficking. Your number 2 man in China was one of the leaders of child sex trafficking in the world. There's child sex trafficking everywhere. It's not democracy. Are you fucking kidding me? You're blaming democracy for child sex trafficking. This started thousands of years ago when the morons started praising Baal. This is a continuation. This battle's been going for thousands. If you think that child sex trafficking is a result of democracy, you're kidding me, right? Seriously, you're linking child sex trafficking with democracy. What? Every other country in Belgium.
Democracy is supposed to work for the majority of people, 51%, right? Majority rule. That's the democracy. But democracy didn't prevent from child trafficking all the time. That's right. That's agree.
Tell me another country in the planet that's
I'm
fighting.
not comparing.
You are, because
no,
you
I'm
can't
not.
say this is wrong compared to what? I'm a bad man compared to what? Scott Morrison? I've made mistakes in my life, but am I a bad man compared to... It's like you're shoving a finger in my face saying you're a bad man. I go, yeah, I am. I've done bad things, but compared to whom? Seriously, what is your problem with democracy? What do you want?
Well, because democracy didn't
Give me what...
protect
No,
my
madam,
freedom.
this is... Look, you've got a crowd here. They are fascinated. What do you want?
I want freedom and liberty.
Okay, now what system of governance will give that to you?
That's a question, a good question. That's why I asked you.
Well, in my case, okay, my personal view is a constitutional republic.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's just my personal view, but my view is irrelevant. What matters is what everybody else there wants.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
But a constitutional republic enumerates, and here's the thing, it just doesn't enumerate your rights. The rights start with the people. And what the people do is, let's go back to the US. They wrote their constitution. We hold these truths to be self-evident. That man was created by with certain unalienable rights, amongst these a life lived in pursuit of happiness. And the governments are instituted by the people to secure these rights. And when the governments become destructive to those ends, the people have the right to abolish or end that government. Now, they wrote the Constitution, a beautiful piece of work. Now, let me just give you a quick lesson. That's the opening paragraph a lot of people know. The last one is, we meant our lives, our wealth, and our sacred honour to achieving these rights. See, they had the opening line, which is great, but unless you're willing to risk everything, you have nothing. That's point number one. Now, point number two, they wrote their Constitution, and then they realised the Constitution was incomplete. So they listed some amendments. The first one was the right to free speech. The second was the right to bear arms, and away it went. That's because no constitution in its first iteration will be complete. Now, that's great, except now people go, well, these are my rights, and you have to list our rights. We want a Bill of Rights. No, you don't. You have all the rights in the world right now. What I would rather see is the presumption that every human has their rights, and we will enumerate what those bastards up there can do. And they cannot step left or right out of what we tell them they can do. There's no mission creep. Does that make sense? And if they want more rights, they should come to the people, and a majority of the people in the majority of the states should say, yeah, okay, you can have another one. So instead of enumerating our rights, how about we enumerate their rights? And every right that is not specifically enumerated is reserved to the people. Does that make sense? So they can't do anything unless you personally tell them that they can do it. That's my view. But hey, what matters is what everybody else here thinks. Everyone here, me, you, we're all equal. And it doesn't matter whether you're a millionaire from Point Piper or a prostitute from St Kilda, every one of us has equal rights.
What about online rights to our data? If we don't have any online rights to our data, and that data is monetised and then the corporations use that, against us.
That's because those bastards let them do it.
Well, we haven't got anything, so Bill of Rights Constitution.
So once again, every right should be reserved to the people. And unless they are specifically told you can sell our data from you, they can't do it. Make sense? So instead of saying, I demand the right for this, I demand the right for that, what you say is, tell me what you want to do, government. So you put your finger in the face, and I love people putting their finger in my face. I wish you fucking cowards would put a finger in the faces of your MPs, but you won't. I have. The people out there, go to your local member because you're paying them. You're not paying me a fucking cent, and I don't want any money. But go to the people that you are paying to represent you and put a finger in their face and say, what's your fucking view on democracy? Have you quizzed your local MP? Ma'am?
Yes, I have.
Really? And has he sat here and answered every one of your silly questions?
On democracy.
You think democracy is a problem? Madam, go to China. Go to China.
She's wearing an A1 shirt.
Totalitarianism.
I don't compare West democracy with Chinese dictatorship. I'm not comparing.
You are.
Okay?
You said democracy is a problem. Compared to what?
You think what?
No, I'm asking you compared to what?
Freedom, individual liberty.
Where does that exist on the planet, man? And where does that exist on the planet? As a practical...
No, that's why we are fighting, right? We're fighting for freedom. Because it doesn't exist yet. That's what we're fighting for.
So why are you beating up democracy, and why aren't you beating up on everybody else? Is my question.
Well, I'm against CCP. Yeah, that's why I left China a long time ago to look for freedom. And I thought Australia was free, and then that Australia wasn't free.
Okay, I'll give you my answer. Constitutional republic is my view. What's yours? Have you got a model? Have you sat down and worked out a better way?
Constitutional what's it called?
Constitutional republic.
Okay, yeah.
That's
that was
my
the
view.
American Constitution.
That's sort of the
so
American.
we go back to 1776.
There are some aspects of the American system I don't like, but a constitutional republic, that's my view.
Okay. Yeah, that's great enough.
Critical thinking.
So do you think, sorry?
Critical thinking.
Yeah, critical thinking. We've been taught critical thinking, but when it comes to the class, that's a different concept. Huh? I published my thesis. I wrote my thesis in 1997 based on free market, free freedom. And I was written about it. I was told to take out the entire theory. So was that free? Was Australia free? No.
Australia hasn't been. Okay. You're talking democracy as a concept. You're talking about Australia. We haven't been free for decades. We know that.
That's right. Yes.
Once again, why? Because the people that it happened. Why? Because they're not moral. Why? Because they saw wrong and didn't make it right. They sat back and watched Netflix. That's the short answer to why we are where we are, and until we become a moral people, and this is just about deciding right from wrong. It's not what religion you believe. That's not the point. That's a separate discussion. If you can't tell right from wrong, it doesn't matter what else is going to happen. Liberty? You're kidding me? They're going to lie and kill and cheat you and steal your stuff and kill you?
Well, we shouldn't give them too much power. And
Exactly.
We should bring the power back to us. That's what
we're doing.
Yeah. So
Churchill said that democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others.
Touche.
you guys say that?
Churchill said that. So are you smarter than Churchill?
Well, some people, no, we'll talk about democracy. We can actually appeal to authority.
Well, that's what we all need to get, put our heads together, come up with a better solution. It's being failed and everything else.
Protect our liberty of what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with questioning democracy, but you're an intelligent woman. Solve the fucking problem.
That's why I'm here.
Children ask questions, adults go, right, I can fix that. No, design it, because that's what everyone's doing. We've been breaking our backs for years now, designing an entire system that gives you the right to tell me I'm a fucking idiot. Okay? Okay? That's what we're doing. That's what we're in the process of doing.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you. Nasara, thank you.
Okay, Nasara doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you have an immoral people, nothing fucking matters. Can you get that through your scone? Until you are moral, until we...
You'll know right from wrong when you're moral.
Right from wrong, until we can decide, and not just see what's right and wrong, actually take action. Imagine a gentleman comes out beating you up, and I stand here and go, oh, that's wrong, and I do nothing. Is that a moral act? Am I a moral man if I watch you getting beaten to a pulp?
What should he do?
No, because the first step is to identify right from wrong. And the second step, this is just my view, is to do something about it. Because otherwise you're not a moral people. You know what's moral, but
do you
do
it?
something about it?
Well, I have observed the change of Australians in the past 30 years. Before, people were more willing to help, to support.
Right.
But those type of people are getting less and less.
Yeah, and do you know why that is? No, hang on. Do you know why that is?
The system.
Yeah, but whose system?
Australian system.
No, okay. Short lesson in history. In 1957, there's 58, there's a gentleman called W. Cleon Skousen. W. Cleon Skousen. He was an undercover FBI agent. Now, he retired in 51, but during his time as an undercover FBI agent, he was tasked to penetrate the Communist Party of the United States to find out what they were up to. And he wrote this book called The Naked Communist, published in 1958. In that book are enumerated the 45 goals of communism in the US. Now, the first 10, now you can Google this when you get on. The first 10 were basically very US-centric, but it's worth reading. But after that, the remaining 35 has been implemented in Australia. You just tick it off. Yep, they've done that, they've done that, they've done that, they've done that. So it's not like the Australians just got lazy and stupid. We have been the victim of a very sophisticated, exquisitely designed and patiently executed strategy to undermine us, to demoralise us. And it's been working. So don't beat up on fucking Australians and democracy, please. Do your fucking research. You're a smart woman. Go read the book and you realise that we have been a victim for decades. That's why people are falling asleep. That's why they think Netflix is important and don't worry about killing babies, because they think legal is the same as wrong, is right. Legal and illegal and right and wrong are two fundamentally different things. But those bastards up there have persuaded people, and they've done it intentionally. That's why they should be hung, because I believe they're guilty. That's so I can see your face. How's that? I'm talking to you, not that. So go read Cleon Skousen's book, The Naked Communist, and you'll see that this is just one part of the system. Now, your beloved China, they developed this system.
It's really rude to keep saying.
They developed the system to be tested so they could roll it out to the rest of the planet.
Actually said she left China to get away
social
from
credit
it.
system. That was designed to be rolled out here, and that's what they're trying to do. Let's go back another step. You know how Mao Zedong got control of China? The deep state in the US did it for him. Now, another little history lesson which you never get taught in school. During World War II, the Chinese theatre of operations was being overseen by the American General Wedemeyer. Now, there was Mao Zedong and his communists and Chiang Kai-shek and the Democrats. Now fighting the Japanese, no problem. Getting close to the end, General George C. Marshall, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, told Wedemeyer, make sure that half the government in China, the post-war government, is communist under Mao Zedong. And Wedemeyer said, you're insane. Mao Zedong's just a criminal thug. He's not even a great political leader. He's just a criminal. He said, no, we should go with Chiang Kai-shek as the Democrat. Marshall, Deep State Marshall, because the Deep State's been around for a long time, they disarmed Chiang Kai-shek, and they effectively handed 600 million Chinese, as then was the population of China, to Mao Zedong. So they had to create communist China. It is a device. It is a system created by Deep State. Now, what we think is capitalism, what we think is communism, they can two things in the same thing. Capitalists and communists have been working together to enslave us. They create this illusion, it's left versus right. It's not true. And so what's happened is that China was handed over to Mao Zedong. It's been controlled the whole time. And Mao Zedong, there's a good bloke, isn't it? 40 million of his own people dead. Every time he thought they weren't sufficiently ideologically correct, he'd make them more ideologically sound, and then get 20 million die from starvation, another 20 million die here. The Great Leap Forward and all that. Okay, so China has been developed as the system that the globalists are going to roll out across the entire globe. That's what we've been subject to. Now, we in Australia have been left alone quite intentionally. They made life here wonderful. You know why? Because this was going to be the home of the deep state. This is going to be the home of the globalists after we can exterminate Australia. Why? Have a look at it. It's got all the space you need. It's got all the vegetation you need. It's got all the land you need. It's got a nice moat so nobody can get in. This was going to be ground snake for the globalists. That's why it's so important. So they let us sleep, and they slowly came in. They slowly came in. And they got into the ABC, the Australian Bolshevik Collective, and there isn't a communist idea that they don't like full-term abortion. Why is that? Because if you can convince women to kill babies, and I'm just seeing these two young ladies with a poster saying, parasites have no rights. So instead of identifying this as a gift from God, and the heartbeat happens 12 days after conception, ladies, so guess what? It's not a clump of cells. They've now accelerated that, and bit by bit by bit, and everyone up there was silent. Every one of those parties was silent as the date for abortion kept advancing. Now we have full-term abortion. And let me describe it for you. I want to do this, because this proves to you that the Australian people have lost their morality. Here's what happens. At the point of birth, the doctor partially delivers the baby. It's called a partial birth abortion in the breech position. So the body is outside the womb, but the head is still inside. So technically it hasn't been born. Gets a pair of medicine-bound scissors, puts in the back of the baby's head, opens it up and creates a wound. Then gets a vacuum pump, the head's still inside the baby. Puts the vacuum pump inside the back of the baby's head and sucks out the baby's living brain.
How they do it's kind of irrelevant.
The head, because it's cartilage, collapses and the baby is delivered. But it's not a baby. It's called medical waste. It doesn't get a birth certificate, it doesn't get a death certificate, its body parts are sold. People are buying Ferraris and the sale of body parts. So here's what the medical system in Australia does. It gives you the wrong contraceptives, because some women need progesterone, some women need estrogen, and you get the wrong one, you get pregnant, you get divorced, and you get pregnant, you get abortion. It's an industry. They've turned Australian women into cows. So they sell body parts. Now, we've been fighting this.
That music's going to be too loud.
Abortion doesn't get health care, doesn't get pain relief. These are white eyes. Look at that. Oh, I didn't know.
Up to 28 days, $1 million.
If you can read. Now, it doesn't matter whether we're sovereign, it doesn't matter whether we're self-reliant, it doesn't matter whether we're Christian, Muslim, it doesn't matter anything. If we're killing our babies, we're done.
I'm going to make myself a coffee in a minute.
For life is so profound, we don't deserve to live. We will save this country if we deserve to. Victory is not inevitable. If we lose Australia, it's because we didn't deserve to keep it. It's as simple as that, folks. And that's why I get animated, and that's why I swear. Because I'm sick to death of people with their heads up their backsides watching Netflix and voting for these guys. Okay? So take your questions on democracy and shove them where the sun don't shine. We've got bigger jobs to worry about. We have to create a moral people that know right from wrong and say, that's fucking wrong and I'm going to do something about it. Does that make sense? We have been dumbed down to the point now where even guess what? In Queensland, I think last year, you couldn't hand out Christmas cards because that wasn't exclusive, but they're teaching babies how to masturbate. Is this a moral country? Now, the good news is we don't need everybody, we just need enough. We don't need everybody, we just need enough. We will lose this country unless we are worthy of it. This is not a game.
Well, you said we got the number to 20%. That was the
Sorry?
You said we got the number 20%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have to turn up. They have to turn up. I can't save you. Australia 1 can't save you. Nobody can save you, madam. You have to save yourself.
I guess we're not winning this week then.
Find a fucking solution. You're a smart woman. You've written a PhD. I didn't even go to university and I figured this shit out. No. Listen. You've done a PhD. Go solve the fucking problem. Do something.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, great. What are you going to do? Now, this is
I didn't think it's a
man beating you up and I do nothing. Do something.
Well, tell me.
No.
Why was it?
Think for yourself. Do it yourself. Come up with an answer. Where you go? Where you go?
I want to know why.
You're in one of the best countries in the world. You've got everything. You've got the English language, which is the most useful language on the planet. You're intelligent. You've got a doctorate. I'm just an idiot. I'm a foul-mouthed, thrice-married ex-soldier that never went to university, and I can seem to do shit. So I'm sure you can. It's a dumb question because you're too old to ask that question. You should know. You should fucking know. The children have the right to ask that question. No. You need to start doing something.
I'm doing now, right? I'm doing now. What I'm doing here?
I have no idea what you're doing here.
Well, I have been to, look at this. I have been to these rallies.
So what's Australia 1 for?
So I'm doing it. Is this the one to ask you a question about democracy?
Okay, man comes and beats you up and I go, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? I ask him, why are you beating him?
Okay, so many people question about democracy. Is this one to ask you
so many people are questioning. You know who's questioning democracy? The globalists.
No.
Yes, and the communists.
I don't vote. Communists don't talk about democracy, okay?
Democracy isn't our big problem, madam. Lack of morality is. Ask a better question. Why are we so immoral? Fix that.
Okay, so that's what I asked you about democracy.
No,
so many people are questioning.
Okay, hands up, straw poll. Who's worried about democracy? Who's worried about what?
Everyone.
Who thinks that democracy is a problem? Nobody. No, you keep saying things like people are worried about who?
I can show. I tried to find that for you, but now I can't. I can send you the old
only people that are complaining about democracy are totalitarians.
No, totalitarians don't even talk about democracy, okay? I know that. So don't tell me about
Madam, I don't get...
I know, because they said that democracy are bad, because democracy gives people too much freedom. I know what the dictators think of democracy. I know that.
Democracy gives people too much freedom.
I learned that. So I was educated in communist China. I know what they think about democracy. I used to be in favor of democracy. I came here to look for freedom and democracy. I came with this ideas.
And I'm asking you a question. Your problem is you're looking the wrong place. You're like the person that lost $10 over there, but the lights there are over there, so they're looking over there. Okay?
Maybe. I told you.
The question isn't democracy. That's not your problem. Your first question is why are we not moral? And how do we become moral?
That's what you said.
That's the foundation.
Okay. Yeah.
Even the American founding fathers said it. They said this Constitution is entirely insufficient for an immoral people. If you are not moral, it doesn't matter what the Constitution says. That was communist China. Moral are moral people. This is right. That is wrong.
Okay, so you think moral people will protect liberty and individual freedom? Individual rights? Okay, that's...
Because you've got your rights. If I tell you you are sovereign, you have every right. I have no right to hit you. I'm infringing on your freedoms, correct? I can't touch your life, your liberty and your property. Right? So if I hit you, I get locked up. A moral people is the foundation of any civilization worth anything.
Okay, how moral people can stop income tax?
Sorry?
How moral people can stop income tax?
Income tax, or the rate of income tax, or taxation generally? No, more specific.
The taxation generally and the income tax, right?
Really easy. I'm a moral person, and most tax is theft. But you need a little bit to run the country. Otherwise you have anarchy. Are you an anarchist? Right. So we agree that some degree of taxation is appropriate to do things that government should do.
As you said, now we're paying like 75% tax.
Right. And we're saying you should pay 2% expenditure tax. That's it.
Okay, so how to protect that? How to protect us paying reasonable, like, as you said, 2% tax instead of 75% tax?
Okay.
How do you protect that?
Okay, a moral people says this is my money. A moral people collectively agree that's your money, you should keep it. That's what a moral people would say. And immoral people say, you've worked hard, you've saved up, I've done nothing, but I want you to give me your money. That's immoral. What right do I have to take your money because I'm lazy?
But ATO can come to arrest you, right?
First of all, fuck me. The ATO is an organisation run by immoral people, these guys up here. You've got to treat it. And if everybody in the country says that to the ATO, guess what the ATO does? Nothing. You know why? Because they can't. A moral people has the courage to stand up for what's right. As I said to you, if you're being beaten up and I do nothing, I'm not a moral man. Morality requires courage. And if everybody in the country says no, the ATO can't do anything because there aren't enough cops, there aren't enough jails, and the politicians are scared. The moment we stand up and say no, they lose, we win. That's what a moral people does. Courage is the first quality of morality. The courage to think, the courage to act. Does that make sense? If you are not moral, you have no courage. If you have no courage, you cannot be moral.
I'm very proud of myself. Now I'm becoming moral. Small minority people, right, who are here to fight for the country.
Maybe, I don't know. That's not my place to judge. You have the freedom to be as immoral as you like, but the moment you infringe on somebody else's rights, then they're going to lock you up. Make sense?
That's my question. How to protect individual rights and liberty, right? So now the system is not protecting us. It's destroying our system.
It's not the system that's not protecting us, it's us that's not protecting us. Systems are designed by... If somebody starts beating you up, I promise you...
What's the point of A1 if people can't come to him with
questions? We must protect ourselves. They don't rely on the system. It's very Chinese thinking.
She's supporting her.
It's very Chinese thinking. It's very totalitarian. The system should...
I'm pretty sure that's an A1 shirt she's wearing.
He should, she should, he should, she should.
Well,
That's what individual liberty is about.
Okay,
freedom and liberty? It costs.
No, not properly.
So, in Australia,
He's mocked up.
goes through all the stages, right? It's okay, well, it's not my system. It's not my system. I have to work with what I like. What does that mean? You might end up in the street.
So you were forced by the system, eh?
I think so.
Yeah, this is the battle cry of the coward. Oh, I had to get the injection. I had to. I have no choice. No, it's the battle cry of the coward. I had to. No, you didn't. You made a choice. You made a choice to go to university. You made a choice to study. You made a choice to study that degree. I haven't been to university and I'm doing okay. Okay? No, you made a choice. No. Individual responsibility. You want liberty and freedom. You are responsible for it. I chose to have my life and I must accept the consequences. You chose your life. You must. And don't blame the system. The system says we shouldn't be here. The system says I should go home.
Because I know the problem with the system. That's why I'm here to try to
so stop blaming
fight against the system, right?
You can't fight a system. You fight people. You don't fight systems. You fight people because people break the system.
People who were positioned in the system.
You fight people. You fight the
judges.
Choose the system. They don't have this.
But you just finished complaining about the system at university.
For you, are you ready to stand up?
I'm sorry, but I don't agree with a lot of Bosi's positions on borders and things like that. But who can we vote for with A1? Because I do support independents and minors. So
that's what you do.
Where do we go to look at the candidates? Because the election's in
that's
2
what
months.
you do. You look in your electorate.
No. Who can we vote for? They've already got to be registered.
Doesn't matter.
I've got people here from all over the country. Who can they vote for?
Yes, I know.
For the independents.
Is there any A1?
He does not choose the candidates. He's been talking about this.
Yeah, but he's got to know who they are. Otherwise, how are they A1 candidates?
Okay, so he is giving the responsibility back to you. You work with your...
So there are no A1 candidates.
Because
so
A1 is not registered. So, because the system...
So what independence does A1 endorse?
When there is a time...
We're coming into election right now.
When the people are ready to stand up, where do you live?
How many years? Because I've been following Ricardo since 2017.
Very well.
Yeah, before COVID.
Okay. And my question is, who do you have in your electorate?
We don't have anyone. I'm in Canberra. Because there's no one suitable. As far as I'm aware. He actually said that down at the Commonwealth Park. He said that at Commonwealth Park. So we don't get anyone from A1 candidates.
So if there's no one suitable, so how can you have the A1 candidate?
But I have friends in Sydney, I have friends in South Australia. Who can they vote for? Is there is there a single candidate endorsed by A1 registered for the election?
There is one.
There is one? One in Queensland.
One that I know,
yep.
The rest I don't.
So there's no, that's what I mean.
Because the party is not registered. So you can...
How can you vote for them? How can you support the team? What are they going to do for us? I'm better off supporting Pauline Hanson, even though I don't like what she did at the last election with the website.
Why don't you support the independents? They're standing for freedom.
I do. I support independents. I said that. But I want to support A1.
Governor General,
right? I'm on a lie. If you want people to vote, people need to know they're there, don't they?
Jabs, etc. Is there any chance we could
answering
do a vote out in front of his mouth?
No.
Show
I understand what you're saying. We have to go and choose to find where are our registered representatives. We have an election in like 2 months.
It's up to the community.
They have to already be registered or they can't be voted for this election.
Go on, we could do that through change.
My understanding is you can register.
You could give it a go.
So none of them are going to be Australia One at all. So why are people giving Australia One party money if they aren't even a party? It's got donations and stuff.
So you people choose the information to you. They have every right to do that.
We're busy, we're okay.
But why? What's he doing?
You asked me.
I did.
So you didn't.
I'll ask you. Probably better.
When you go to the supermarket, everything's got the ingredients on it. If it doesn't have it, it's illegal to sell. That's how we get the vaccine, no ingredients anyway. I've seen a letter.
Just trying to kill us all.
Basically, what it comes down to, you've been there for 10 years, mate, you did nothing, so why are you going to start doing anything now?
You know, they put it now because it's too late, yeah. All those people got it already. All that information should have been like a week before they started giving it out.
She's just saying that the party's disintegrated.
Patience is a
My term, the corporate blacks is as crook as the corporate whites. $33 billion a year is a lot of money that goes into the Aboriginal industry. And so when we work with the First Nations people, they are terrified, not the First Nations, the good guys, the corporate blacks and the corporate whites who have been sucking off his teeth for years now, we're going to get between them and their lunch, and they're going to come after us. So when you say First Nations people are with you, Be very careful because there are good people, bad people, good people. Bad people disagree with each other. Just be very wary. It's a very touchy area. I mean, it's difficult in its own right, but be aware that $33 billion here buys a lot of interest. And Jackie in the Nullama is a senior senator. You know how the Aboriginal corporations get certain right? What a lot of the guys do, the whites do, is they'll set up a corporation, get one black on the board, and call it an Aboriginal corporation, and the money flows, the rivers of gold. And these people don't want you getting in their way. Make sense? Please do.
This is a friend. Sorry, no, I'm just trying to not be in the photo. Like behind him. Yeah, it does give us hope. I already like this.
I love it. I love it.
When you already joined this and I did after one of the rallies in Sydney where then Stand Up Australia had a 3-hour thing, I went back up, we're from Shoalhaven, up to Wollongong and heard Peter Harris speaking, and then he's now Australia's best. But there's not going to be someone in our area, but I think Nina is. So we can join more than one party.
If you want to be part of A1, you can't be part of this party.
But you can still vote, but it's their lucky choice.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all the best.
Thank you.
When I see Freedom Party linking together, because I think the strength is in unity.
It is, except one thing. A lot of the smaller parties aren't what they appear to be. They have agendas that aren't necessarily in alignment with everybody else. That's why we have
Peter Harris and the Australian.
We don't. The old AFP here, I know, the old AFP, sorry, the AFP was previously the remnants of the Australian Conservatives. Straight after I ran as a Senate candidate for the Conservatives, straight after the election when Corey disbanded it, I went around Corey Bernardi, I went up and down the New South Wales coast rallying the troops because he basically just left the field of battle. He just walked away and abandoned us.
I think he could do good, there's no way.
Not anymore, no. I would piss on him if he was on fire. Then you can fight me. Nothing. And I went up and down the coast and I was rallying the former Conservatives saying we've got to do something, we've got to do something. I then sat down and wrote out a project plan on what we had to do. And then we had I wrote up the terms of reference for a constitution committee, I wrote the terms of reference for a policy committee, and then I put a game chart out, a project plan on what we had to do. And I sent it to all the big wheels in this organisation. They did nothing for 3 months. They didn't care. You know what they were arguing about? Who was on the executive. They didn't know what they stood for, they didn't know how they're going to run their party, but as long as they got a job on the executive, that's the problem with every other little party. We've spent 2 years developing a broad and deep policy platform. We've spent 2 years developing a constitution for our party that gives the authority to the members. That's the difference.
Why don't they join in under that?
Because they are crooked bastards that want to get in their snout in the trough.
Australian representatives, Stand Up Australia.
The current crop of AFP, I don't know, Australian Federation, I don't know, but at the time, all they wanted was to get their snouts in the trough. Who was going to be on the executive? And they literally put up an email saying, okay, people, what are our policies? Really? So having negotiated who's in charge and who's the state president and who's not, then they wanted to go sort out the policies. It's all about ego and control. That's why we don't talk to anybody. And bit by bit, every group that people said, you should join up with them. You should join with UAP. Well, have you seen what UAP's like? No, we didn't. You should join up with Reignite Democracy. We didn't. You've seen what
Monica still under that or not? Does she come out?
They can't make up their mind. Her fiance and former UAP candidate, Morgan has now stepped away from UAP and he's trying to get going again. These are mistakes, these are rookie mistakes. And this whole hands thing put by our view of the minor parties, we have nothing in common with them. It's not one of them is against full-term abortion. Not one of them is raising the pedophile issue. Not one. So why would I hold hands? And I got asked the question. Imagine, he said, if you hold the balance of power in the parliament, will you sign up with this group or this group or this group? And my answer was, of course not. I will bring them down. We'll go to election again and again and again until the Australian people figure out that, guess what, killing babies at birth is not the sign of a mature civilization. But nobody else is talking about it. Find me another party that's talking about that. Find me another person, another party that's talking about policy, pedophilia. And then I might even look at them. But then what we say to them is, and this was said to one of the...
Are these your high issues?
No. Then we say, now we want to vet you. Because we vet our members. Right? And we're certainly going to vet our candidates. Now, if we vet our candidates to make sure they're not bad, we should certainly vet any alliances that we have. And I actually said, my wife said this to a woman who was part of a group, a leader of a group, and she said, oh, we'll work with you. Give us your details and we'll vet you. She literally did a pirouette and ran away. Because everyone's got dirt, but it depends on whether you're ashamed to admit it or not. Because it's not the sin that's the problem, it's the concealing of the sin that's the problem. Because now you're open to blackmail. Now you're open to blackmail. That's why when people ask me about my past, I go, yeah, I did that, so what? Next question. They've got no leverage on me because I don't care. My past is my past, I'm not proud of it, but hey, shit, it happened. Moving right along. Make sense? No. Because I got asked the other day, why were you never invited to join the Masons? And I said, because I had an affair with the wife of a senior officer and my name was put on the blacklist. And the whole crowd went dead silent and went, did he just say that? I said, yes, because the truth is the truth is the truth. If you don't like me, I don't care. I've got a country to save. Was I a little untidy in my past? Yes, moving right along. Now, here's the problem. When someone's done something in their past and they try to conceal it, and somebody comes along and says, don't worry, I won't tell anybody about it, they've got you. They've got you. And that's why you can throw anything you want at me. I'll go, yeah, I did it, or no, I didn't.
By the way, congratulations. I've saw one of your video clips on the Patel page.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
Which one was that?
Patel page.
Yeah, no,
Devolution.
Sorry, all good. Yeah, we're about to do a we're under contact and we're getting in contact with
awesome. Oh, that's my dream come true.
Yeah. We'll be talking next week.
Got the file. Awesome. That's so good. Pleasure. He's one of the very first one in the state that using public records.
No, he's doing good work. Awesome. So we'll have a conversation hopefully next week. We'll record it, we'll get it up online. One side, I'm using notes to that mission of mine. Now all my former commanding officers are wondering, was it my wife?
Alright, that's good. Always be honest, I reckon. You just have to be honest.
When I get to the other side and they roll the tape, I can't say I didn't do that. Oh, really? Roll the tape? Yeah, you do it. Don't lie. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And if you tell the truth, you don't have to worry about remembering what you said.
That's right. As I confessed to my sister last night, the only way I get myself to sleep is, just help myself get really tired.
That's why I'm a lousy politician. I keep telling the truth.
Thank you.
Whenever you want, you come up and we'll put you on. Just pull the time.
All right, 3:15. Sorry.
You ready? Yeah, I'm waiting.
I'm too stupid to Gotta go.
Quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Now that the government is not going to help, what's the next step to bring in?
You keep squeezing him until his eyes pop. We're not going anywhere. Just because he said no doesn't mean I'm going to walk away. Oh, okay, well done. No, I walk closer to him and go, come on, David. Come on, you can do it.
So what can we do?
Keep turning up. Keep writing letters, keep putting posts up, and just keep the pressure on. Seriously, They are terrified because they know we're not stopping. We don't stop. Unrelenting.
We've been here since the end of January. We were there when Coalition gave you certain papers to the Government General. We've been here every weekend and 2 weeks at the beginning. So
Thank you so much. You're doing everything you need to do. Good style.
there might be
Thank you. No, you're right. Perfect.
Maybe I'll ask Bob.
Very good.
I'll ask Craig if he hasn't wandered off. Does anyone know? Because it'll save me trying to catch Ricardo. You might know. Do you know where can we go and look at what candidates Ricardo is actually currently endorsing? What, which ones he's vetted? Oh, okay. So how long? When will they give us some sort of?
We're not privy to that yet.
You're not privy, okay? Because it's getting pretty close. So you know, yeah. So if they're going to tell anyone, they'll need to let them know soon. Well, that's not very helpful. We don't know.
I'm just going to bring up some return servicemen and some diggers. We're going to do 2 minutes
I'm
silence.
just going to have
to the people that have
I'll
fallen.
ask Craig Cole if I can find him.
These guys coming back and serving again. Come up, please, guys. That's it. It's all about freedoms. End of story. Mandates, all that shit. It's all about freedoms. Rightio, we're going to start with Brendan. Rightio. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Right on!
Do you want to see Craig Cole? Although I can see the chat anyway. I can't see him.
Before I kick this off, we're going to do the ode, and we're going to do 2 minutes silence. But I've been on the front line with Phil as well, and I'm probably having way too much fun with this. But what I want you guys to know is you inspire me every day. Everyone around me inspires me every day and helps me do what I'm doing. So thank you. And thank
they're up on the corner again.
every weekend, and thank you for holding the line with us.
Oh, more shirts as well.
So what I'd like to do is the oath. So it's traditional for everybody to actually remove headdress. The veterans will leave theirs on. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end, against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. lest we forget. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Just before you go, Dan, just explain why it was 2 minutes long.
The 2-minute silence is actually what we originally had, so it was instituted just after the First World War as a respectful thing for those who gave their lives. The King actually did it by proclamation. So those customs and traditions have slowly been eroded over time. It's like they changed our national anthem from God Save the Queen. And that's another thing that Phil and I do at the GGs every morning. We sing our old national anthem.
What Glenn's saying is in 1960, they chopped it 2 minutes down to 1 minute because people couldn't be bothered waiting to respect the fallen diggers and the returned diggers. And some of the ones that returned were also fallen. So that's why we've gone back to 2 minutes, because traditions been chipped away one by one by all of this lot here. And that's why half the problem we've got. So I'm just going to get John here to have a quick talk.
Thank you all. I can naturally remember. Is there anyone else here can remember standing for 2 minutes silence?
No.
I can. At school, first few years, through the 50s and 60s. And it's, as well as restoring our freedom, as Phil said, and Glenn, we are restoring traditions as they've been stripped away from us. And so thank you for standing for 2 minutes for those fallen. I'd just like also to say, look, in the two wars that we've seen in our history, the two major wars, in each of those wars, there was a resistance provided by the people of those nations that were being under attack. And that resistance was from the people of those countries. And there wouldn't have been success without that resistance. Now, you guys are all part of the resistance. And the resistance in those days was, it had to be an underground operation because those people's lives are being threatened. Well, ours are too, but we're not underground. We're the visible resistance. And I want to thank you all for being so.
So I can't catch Bosi and ask him
Brett wants to say something. He just said he wanted to say something.
Right, this is for all of Australia. You standing here today are the soldiers of the future. We are all fighting for our children's, our grandchildren's children, and their children. This is the future we will create, not these people behind us. We are Australia, united under the Southern Cross. Hurrah!
So, we have a bit of a tradition we do. So every day, anybody doesn't know me, every day for the last 6 weeks, I've gone to the Governor General's at 10 o'clock and gave a bit of a spiel to him about sorting this shit out. I'm going to say it. I've been told not to swear. I told him not to as well. Yeah, so part of that thing I say to people all the time is half the problem we've got is the communities were broken up with little things like removing traditions, right? Removing traditions. I remember at school, like John remembers 2 minutes silence at school. I remember when I was at school, I sang God Save the Queen. And I don't remember the referendum that changed that to about toil and wealth. Does that sound right? No. We hear about toil and wealth? No bloody way. All right? We know this country's great. You don't have to sell it to make it valuable. We know it's valuable. That's why we're here, and that's why we're fighting for it. Now, I think that calls for another tradition, which is our original national anthem, God Save the Queen. Now, I can't sing for that other word I just said that I'm not allowed to say, so I'm going to get Glenn up here to do it. And look, if you don't want to sing it, that's fine, because I'm here for your freedom. And if it's your freedom not to sing it if you don't want to sing it, that's fine by me. I'm not going to get upset, I'm not going to get worked up, and I'm not going to be offended, because that's another thing that they created to get rid of communities. Don't say that to that person, you'll offend them. Don't say that to that person, you'll offend them. Well, when my mate used to call me out for being a dick, you know what I'm going to say there, I would not get offended. I'd say, you know what, I was too, thanks mate for pulling me up. Or I would say, I don't agree with that, sorry, you have the right to say that, that's up to you. I'm not offended by it. So I'm going to get Glenn to sing God Save the Queen. Sorry?
Can I say something?
You certainly can, young lady.
The First Nations?
Yep.
Hasn't the Queen's name been mentioned with the child abuse?
Yes, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Hang on a minute, can I just talk?
Until it's investigated.
Okay, can I just talk? If you listen to the words of God Save the Queen, it's not just praising her. It's asking her to show us reason why we should. Right? And if she doesn't show us reason why we should, then we'll solve that problem as well. And I understand exactly what, and that's why I said, if you don't want to sing it, you don't believe it, that's your freedom. Right? Because it does say, in those words, show us cause. And I'm going to the Governor-Generals and I'm asking him to show us cause too. And if he doesn't show me cause, then I'll solve that problem as well. And so will all you people. Right? So if you don't want to sing God Save the Queen, feel free. Don't be offended by it. Because I'm not doing it to offend you, I'm doing it because it's tradition and it brings communities together. And maybe one day we'll have a referendum and we'll change that. And we'll have discussions with people that don't agree and the people that do agree. And we'll get together and we'll make a decision.
Yes.
Thank you for your statement, I very appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. So, will we all give God Save the Queen a crack for those that want to sing along? All right. God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. O Lord our God, arise, scatter her enemies, and make them fall. Confound their politics, frustrate their knavish tricks. On thee our hopes we fix. God save us all.
God save us all.
Thy choicest gifts in store on her be pleased to pour. Long may she reign. May she defend thy laws and ever give us cause to sing with heart and voice. God save the Queen. Amen.
Thanks guys, thanks for coming up and supporting me. Thanks for all the stuff you've done in your lifetime supporting Australia. Now those people that think less of me for that, and those people that didn't like that, obviously you're not here for freedom. Right? Because I support anything you say and do as long as it doesn't encroach on my freedoms. And I'm here for every single one of your freedoms. Regardless of what you say, what colour it is, I don't care. I'm here to help you, be with you. So if you think less of me than that, so be it. I'm not offended by that. Hopefully you're not offended by what I just did, because this is the whole thing we're here for. Right? Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. Now, 10 o'clock at the Governor-General's every single day. Have done for 6 weeks. Living in the swag out the back of my ute with a mate. Right? Supported by my mate. Supporting him. Supporting Australia. Supporting everything you guys are about. You guys come here every Saturday and you bolster me because I know that when you go home, you don't sit in front of your TV. You don't sit out the back going, geez, I hope Australia turns out gay. You're out there fighting every single day like me. You know, I know the people that go lunchtime, they go down to their local councillor and protest them. Now, when I say I do the Governor Generals at 10 o'clock, that's not the only thing I do. I get with a group of people, Wally and another person, and we convoy protest every single government building in this place that has anything to do with these mandates, these lies, the bullshit, the hiding the pedophiles. We do the lot. And we get a lot of flack. They have just 2 days ago created a task force to stop us. Right? It's 2 motorbike cops, two highway patrol cars and 2 vans full of 8 patrol officers. They come around and they harass us every single day. Right? Their new thing is they're going to stop us before the budget. Guess what? They ain't stopping shit. They got another thing coming. Right? And we are copping it, I tell you. Registration on the vehicle cancelled twice. You ever had that happen to you? Full refund? Never? That's strange, isn't it? Random breath tests and drug tests. Only the people at the lead of the convoy. Bang, bang, 2 cars off the convoy. Guess what? We're not stupid. We're problem solvers, just like all you guys. So what we do, we just spread out the information through the convoy so the next person jumped in from somewhere in the middle of the convoy. Didn't slow us down, didn't stop us, just made it harder for them because now we're onto their shit. Alright? So you guys coming here, bolster us, because we know that you don't just fight here, not every Saturday in front of an empty building. You're here because you want to listen to people that are fighting as well. We're fighting with you, for you. Thank you very much, people. Hope to see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the Governor General's. Tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Awesome, thanks, buddy. Don't forget the barbecue tonight at 5 o'clock at Henry Rowland Reserve over there. It's a beautiful little spot. Just going to plug this. The Born Free ACT 2022 Stay Free. Still more t-shirts. Thank you for those that have been over there. They got poleaxes for a while, didn't they, Cobber? But there's still more there, and there's stickers for $5 too to help support what we're doing. It's a creative way to do it, eh? All right, everyone. Ricardo Bosi, are you ready, sir? Are we ready for this man? I am. We need him.
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bow our heads. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Right. Here we are again. Somebody asked me just before I came up, now that the Governor-General has decided that 95% of the people have willingly taken the jab and he's not going to do anything, what do we do next? And I said, well, we keep squeezing him till his eyes pop. Just as a rough straw poll, just for His Excellency General David Hurley, how many people here, just as a show of hands, believe that full consent was given by those that took the jab? Yeah, that's what I thought. Who thought they were coerced, deceived, beaten, assaulted? There you go, Your Excellency. Now, I know this group is not indicative of the Australian population, but to force somebody to do something, to deny them the right to earn a living, to feed their family, to travel with freedom, that's not informed consent, that's coercion. Blind Freddy can see that. But here's the question. How did we get here? What set of circumstances, what event, what decisions were made that got us to where we are today? Where we have an unconstitutional government imposing their will on us as if they were dictators. And the sad truth is this, ladies and gentlemen, we let it happen. Now, I know this group, some of you have been awake for a long time, and you're probably saying, well, I bloody didn't. Day one, she knew. But some of us, at some point, were all asleep. And we woke up and we did something about it. But the trouble was, not enough. Not enough woke up in time. How many, and be honest, and don't put your hands up because I don't want you to embarrass yourself. But who remembers being told this years ago and thinking, what a loon? And we eventually woke up. But here's the problem. The reason it happened wasn't just because we didn't have information. And let me give you the long, roundabout way to get into what I want to say. Our objective, everyone has a different view of the future of Australia, what it should look like. And you should have that, because you are sovereign beings, and all sovereignty derives from you. You are allowed to believe what you believe, think what you think, say what you say, do what you do, as long as you don't interfere with anybody else's individual rights. But our view is this. Australia is a moral, sovereign, self-reliant Christian Western democracy which is economically powerful, militarily intimidating, politically free, culturally vibrant and socially cohesive. And that's not an advertising statement, that's a to-do list. That's a to-do list. Now that's just our view and you can disagree and that's fine. We had an energetic discussion back there about these issues earlier. But the first one's the key one and that's why we failed. The first one is a moral people. Now I don't want you to put your hands up. Is Australia a moral people? Let's check the data. Let's roll the tape, Gladys. Right now in Australia, it is legal to conduct a full-term abortion. That is at the point of birth, to kill the baby. In Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania and South Australia. And they're working away around the country. This, by the way, is pursued doggedly by Emily's List. Emily stands for Early Money is Like Yeast. Emily's List, it's a female-only faction of the Labor Party, headed up by Penny Wong, Julia Gillard, Tanya Plibersek, Katie Gallagher, and a bunch of others. And their goal is full-term abortion on demand, nationwide, publicly funded, no questions asked. And they have successfully got most of the states already covered. Now, a nation that kills its newborns is no different to the pre-biblical child sacrifices of thousands of years ago. It's murder, pure and simple. But that's not as bad as it's going to get worse. Because they want post-birth abortion. There's a gentleman called Peter Singer, who's a bioethicist, animal rights activist. He was given Australia's highest award.
It's a song.
I think we're back on. Okay, we're back on. Somebody is interfering. Thanks, mate. Oh no, we got this. It's all right. And so Emily's List has been pushing this for some time. Liberal, Labor and Greens are fully on board with this because they let it run through. And once it gets passed, I don't know if you actually saw the Queensland State Parliament when they passed it, the hooting and hollering and the joy, the unadulterated joy on the faces of those baby killers. They don't celebrate legislation that saves lives, that looks after the sick, the needy, the poor. No. Killing babies is what they do. And this country has the worst abortion laws on the planet. And they want to have this post-birth abortion, as I was saying, Peter Singer, highest award by Julia Gillard. Babies should not be granted personhood until they are 2 years old. This is what those people up there are pushing for. And don't believe me, go check it out for yourself. But that means you can kill them, you can have sex with them, you can eat them. They are not people. This is the country we have become. And the bodies of those poor babies at birth, they don't get a birth certificate, they don't get a death certificate, they're not even called babies, they're called medical waste and their body parts are on-sold. This is Australia today. Pre-biblical barbarism. Let's jump to another level. is Australia a moral country? We're apparently best friends with China, the People's Republic of China. Labor's Deputy Leader Richard Miles at one point said we should have closer military ties with China. This is the same China that's killing us, the same China that launched the Wuhan virus on us. And this is the same China that uses the Uyghurs, and the Uyghurs are the ethnically Chinese Muslims, to provide body parts for transplants for the Islamic world, because they need halal body parts. Now, everywhere else where you need a transplant, you've got to put your name on a waiting list, and you're in that uncomfortable position where you're hoping somebody dies and there's a match for you and you might get a heart, lung, a liver, something. Not in China. You can make a booking and get the body part you want, and if you're a Muslim, you can get a halal, because the Uyghurs are there and they literally harvest body parts. And these people up there on our behalf are doing business with them. The Falun Gong, same thing. They meditate, they're peace-loving, very healthy. So for the non-halal market, you can book a transplant as well. This is China. This is the Chinese Communist Party. This is the party that the Australian Bolshevik Collective constantly boosts. This is the same Chinese Communist Party that these people up here want us to have closer ties with. This is the same Chinese Communist Party that designs and develops our chips so they know exactly what's going on in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, as a nation, I think we've missed the boat. We are not a moral people. Now, why is that important? Because it doesn't matter by what metric we assess our success if we are not moral. We can have our sovereignty. We can have our economic power, our military power, our political freedoms, but if we're not moral, we end up exactly where we are. Now, what's government got to do with morality? Everything. Because the laws they pass tell us what's right and wrong. Because most people can't tell the difference anymore between right and wrong. They can tell legal and illegal. And you say to somebody full-term abortion's wrong, they go, but it's legal. So what imbecile would outsource their moral judgment to these people up here? That's where we are. If it's law, it must be okay. So the first step to recovering this country, the first step, the foundation upon which our future depends, is us once again becoming a moral people that knows right from wrong. But it's more than just knowing. And let me give you an example. Imagine if there's a woman standing right there and a gentleman comes up and starts beating the living crap out of her. And someone stands there and says, well, that's wrong, but does nothing. Is that individual moral? Now think about it. Is that individual moral? Somebody suggests you get your phone out and film it. So morality, this is just my take on it. You can get your own take if you like. Morality for me requires action. And unless we do something, we are not a moral people. And if we are not a moral people, forget it. This country will evaporate. It'll be a typing error in the history of the globe. We won't survive because we won't deserve to survive. We will evaporate. We will be destroyed by our own immorality because we allow them to decide for us what's right and wrong. We must become a moral people. We must firstly know what's right and wrong. And secondly, we must have the courage to do something about it. And that's to face the crowd and say, no. The courage to stand up and say, you will not do that. Now, I can handle myself. So jumping in on some bloke that's beating the crap out of some woman, not so much of a challenge. I was in a restaurant in Melbourne, down in Carlton, during the gang wars. All the Victorians remember that. And we're in the restaurant, and I looked out the window, and there was one guy beating the living bejesus out of another guy in the alleyway. So I just jumped up and raced around. And by the time I got there was a bit of a crowd. And one bloke grabbed me and he went, whoa, slow down, he's got a gun. So I paused to assess the situation. There was a little woman in front of me. She didn't pause, and she threw herself on top of the body of the man that was being beaten up. The guy doing the beating stood up and walked away. That woman was a moral woman. This is the courage you require, and the first quality required of morality is courage. The courage to think, the courage to speak, and the courage to act. And that's what you all are doing here today. And I want to thank you for that. You have that courage. But we've got to spread this courage around the rest of the country. They need to see you do what you do. Politely, but with strength of character. You've got to speak, you've got to think, speak, and do what's got to be done. It's called social proof. They've got to see it. Because most people, you've heard the story, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, we believe it before we see it. We actually do it, but most people have to see it. And social proof is powerful. How do you know? Well, the 4-minute mile, going back a few years. The experts said nobody could run the 4-minute mile because the stresses on the body are too great and you would die. Until somebody did. And within 12 months, another 3 ran the 4-minute mile. Social proof. If they see you do it, they will imitate. Does that make sense? This is the characteristic of humans that allows us to survive as animals. Because we're not the fastest. We don't have claws. We don't have fur to protect us. We don't have fangs. What we do is we imitate quickly those who have survived. They will imitate you if they see it. You will inspire them by a simple act of courage. Now, we've been doing that already anyway. We walk through the shopping centres without our masks, and people look at us like we've got 2 heads, but 1 or 2 will look. Then more will look, and then more will look. And the more they kept going, the fewer wore them. Social proof. So, folks, if you want to save this country beyond the next 2.5 weeks, we have to be that living example to everyone around the country. What courage looks like. Moral courage. Right and wrong. Think what you've got to think, say what you've got to say, and do what you've got to do. Regardless of the cost to you. Does that make sense? You guys are already there. I want to thank you for it because it's brilliant. And all the other people, or millions of people around the country who are doing it. But we've got to start galvanising. We've got to start forming this inexorable forward movement, this unstoppable, indefatigable movement forward. Because right now, they are scared. Every day I'm getting reports. They are terrified. They know. They know they're on a long walk off a short pier. And it's every one of you that has done it. Every one of you. People keep saying, what do we got to do? Keep turning up. Just turn up. Just turn up. That's all we need to do because there are others doing what they can do. And you've heard me talk about that before. Who heard about the C-130 that flew over yesterday? There was another C-130. With the first March, C-130 transport aircraft flew over us and did a big hook. Almost looked like a Q. Now, C-130 transport aircraft don't do low-level flyovers for no good reason. But yesterday, apparently, another C-130 came in low, dropped its undercarriage, its landing gear, came in low, raised its undercarriage and continued on its merry way. Now, my interpretation, I could be wrong, my interpretation is we're close to landing. We are so close. We're a 15th of an inch away from victory, folks. So keep doing what you're doing, keep thinking what you're thinking, keep saying what you're saying, keep doing what you're doing. Be that social proof, be that example to everybody else, your friends, your family, everybody. Because this victory is in our hands right now, and we're going to win. We are going to win. And let's give the big Don a bit of a cheer. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Thank you very much.
Okay, we just listening to that and knowing where we are, I think the next couple of people, I've just got a husband and wife going to come up here now, and they're just going to do a quick song for you. But I think this song is very apt for what we need at this time, guys. And just after hearing Rick talk then, grab that mic, do a test. Your plug's here, hang on. One, two.
You want a coffee, River?
I'll eat the coffee. There's no coffee.
You want a coffee?
Where is it?
There isn't any, but I'm going to make myself one down at my car. Did you want one?
Volume on the guitar.
It's not going to cost me anything. It's only Nescafe. I'm going to have one.
Matt, volume guitar.
Maybe I'll spot Craig Cole as I go. Oh, there he is. Craig, having a bit of trouble getting hold of Ricardo to ask him. It's pretty
All right, just a quick one while we're waiting.
How many
everyone.
candidates you've got?
This here is the transition flag that's going to take Australia into its new future.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one Ricardo Bosi released about a month ago.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a simple flag. It's not going to be the permanent one. It's a transition government flag with a simple
and the supporters
Southern Cross on it. If you like one,
I know
to help raise some funds, $5 a sticker. They'll be with Mel and that at the sound booth. Thank you very much.
We haven't got to that part of the process yet.
So
It all depends.
Be running any this election,
that's
you reckon,
up to
you don't know?
that's up to you people in your electorate.
Yeah, fair enough.
So if you guys haven't got enough supporters to fill polling booths, well, it means you didn't want a candidate.
So you don't know.
Get off your
have we got some candidates
that's up to people in your electorate.
Well, I know, but there's more than one electorate.
Okay, you're not letting me answer the question, lady.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. In your electorate.
I know about my electorate.
Let me answer the question, please. It's not a one-sentence answer.
Okay, yep.
All right.
Live now.
Your electorate, okay? If you don't, part of that process is to build your supporter groups up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
One supporter group, so and so on. Okay? So that come election time, you have enough supporters to man the polling booths.
Yeah.
Because you could have the best candidate in the world.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough people to man that polling booth,
I'd help with past elections.
Okay, so we're at the stage in the process at the moment of building the supporter group.
Okay.
So to answer the question answers itself. Okay. So at the moment
there aren't any real candidates.
There aren't any candidates at the moment. That if you want a candidate in your area, you and the rest of your electorate need to get off your ass and recruit people.
Yeah, okay. So is there one for your electorate? Are you running for your electorate?
Once again, I will put my hand up for my electorate, but if I don't get the required support, I've got no fucking hope, have I?
Yeah, fair enough.
So once again, this is a people that we've got to stop standing back and letting.
Let me tell you, last federal vote, you can go at that on last federal election.
Dangers, toilets, and snares. I have already.
That's why I'm looking, going, okay, where can I point to and go, right, A1, you've got stuff happening.
That has brought
You've got to build your supporter groups up so there's enough supporters in that electorate to then vote for that, to then nominate those candidates.
When we've been there, when we've been
you have 7 polling booths, roughly about 7 to 80 polling booths average. Now we're going to have to run independent candidates. Okay? So on the ballot paper, now this is talking real terms here. On the ballot paper, say, John Smith, independent candidate. How is everyone going to know that John Smith is the A1 candidate? Okay? Now, that's up to, you can have the best candidate in the world, okay?
Sing it with us now, Amazing
Grace. You haven't got enough supporters in your electorate to man the polling booths. It's not going to make one stretch of difference.
No, that's fair enough. So we're still trying to get some people with the support behind them to
100%.
Like you and me. I was lost, but now.
Oh wow, they want to go round in circles and blame the people. They do not have a single candidate vetted. Not a single one. Including Craig. Well, I'm assuming they vetted Craig because he's a member of the party and
Jesus, the way.
How are you today?
I'm alright, how you doing?
Good, you've got less clothes than last time I saw you.
Alright, we're going to hear from a young Australian now, a young girl. Where is she at the back there? Who's that? She's right here, she comes.
This is all getting really aggravating. I'm going to go down and make a coffee, so I might turn this off in a minute. But okay, so we've asked 2 people that are part of the admin team. and got the same answer twice, which is if you don't find a candidate in your local area, then you don't get to have a candidate. And they won't get them to endorse them unless you put them forward. So I assume that means they're just not having anyone in this election because they're really running out of time. How are they going to have time to vet them and then get them registered and then get, you know, all the advertising and all the rest of the crap? And he literally said people could join A1, but why would you join a corporation? It's not a political party. Joining that's not actually supporting the independent that you might choose. So, yeah, I don't know if any of his supporters actually pick up any of this, but it's absolute trash. Not that we didn't know that already, but you know. They don't want to answer. I already knew that you had to pick your own candidate and you had to get your own support and blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to know if they'd actually officially vetted anyone.
This is an important announcement.
Oh, well. Oh, sorry, I don't know if you could see his face then. It wasn't even... Audio is more important anyway. So I'm going to go down and make a coffee. And then we'll go back up, okay? So, I hope everyone's enjoying themselves. And I'll be back.